Right, how do you do, Robin?
How do you do?
It's a big pleasure.
Hi.
Home's team. And this is home.
This is my home in England, yeah.
Can we go for a walk?
Sure.
Yeah? The 800-year-old monastery.
This used to be a grand hall in the 1700s.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just about to go do the final resting place of Robin Gibb of the Bee Gees. And at that moment, I was just going to go out. Can you hear in the background? Listen. Yes! Saved by the Bell. You remember the song? Well, in this case, I wasn't saved by the bell. I'm going to have to wait till they stop. But it's a beautiful village, and it's, if you can hear me, can you hear me? It's a beautiful village, and actually, Robin Gibb is buried somewhere in that graveyard. And over there is the house where Robin Gibb lived. If you can see, there's a blue plaque on the wall, but I don't want to film it a great deal. So, hang in. As soon as these bells stop, I'm off and we'll find Robin Gibb. So the Bee Gees, yeah, I mean, Paul Garbaccini got it right. He said they were probably the second biggest group that the UK produced, next to the Beatles, and they sold 200 million records. Sounds nice, doesn't it? That'd line your pockets well, wouldn't it? But when you think about a record, it's a wonderful thing because you produce a record, and then if it's a good one, of course, it gets played for forever. And yeah, I think you make money out of it for a lot of years, and then suddenly it becomes public property. I think it's 70 years or something. But yeah, it's a wonderful business. But I mean, a lot of these dedicated musicians are what they are. They're not financially driven, but and the Bee Gees were. I like the group. I didn't see Robin as much as I did Barry on interviews. I remember Barry saying that they said to him, they're very modest. They said, "How can you produce such fantastic records?" He said, "Because 1 in 9 is a good record. You don't hear all the ones that are not so good," and that was quite modest of him. In other words, hard work. So as a group, you had Barry, the taller one with the long hair and the fantastic high-pitched voice, falsetto. And then you had Robin, who we've come to see today, and Maurice, who were twins. It's a superb church. Look, we've got to catch this, haven't we? Not me. Isn't that beautiful? Love the trees as well. I can hear the service going on actually. So we will not interrupt that. The brothers were born on the Isle of Man, but very in their early age they came to Manchester, but then they did the big move to Australia, which they in Australia when they were young children they were on TV a lot. They were almost like the sort of Osmonds, but a slightly more adult version. I think they went into Clubland and things like that. But as children, they were prolific, and that's what probably homed all the talent. Then when the success started to happen, they came back home to Blighty, which you can't blame them. They probably missed the UK, didn't they? In 2002, they all got a CBE, but the investiture was delayed, and it did not happen until 2004. But they deserved it. They're great songwriters. When you look at I'm not going to go through the list of their achievements because it's enormous. But who doesn't know the Bee Gees? That's all you've got to say. I remember watching the Clive Anderson interview where they walked off, and it was interesting because, Clive Anderson was a barrister and he tended to put people down. And when you watch it, there's a subtlety to it because they come on and it starts with little jibes. But as the interview goes on, he starts to say things like, you were hit makers, but there's a letter missing. And it's just not acceptable, is it, when you think about it? And you could see Robin was thinking about this during the interview. And then it comes to one point where he talks about the former, when they were children, what they called a group, which was the Rattlesnakes. And at one point, he even calls them tossers. And you can see that Barry is thinking about this. The other two brothers sat either side of him, Robin and Maurice, not so affected, but you could see it was stewing onto his mind. And I don't blame him because here sits a very, very successful group, and all that Clive Anderson's doing is looking for little ways to have a jibe at them, you know, to belittle them. So at one point I can see in Barry's face he's looking for retaliation, and he does, and he just stands up and he said, starts to walk off, and he said, "You're the tosser, mate." And immediately Maurice got up, and no, immediately Robin got up. He reacted immediately. Maurice, not so much, he delayed it. And Clive Anderson said, "Are you sticking around?" He said, "No, I can't do impersonations," and that was the end of it. And Clive Anderson's face was astounded. Nobody'd ever walked out on him before. Deserved it, didn't he? Yeah, I think so.
I can't even remember
We had one
why.
at the same time called Don't Forget to Remember, which was
I've forgotten that one. But,
yes, we thought you might.
yeah, no, of course.
We're getting
yeah.
on like a storm, aren't we, Clive?
Yes.
In fact, I might just leave.
Yeah. Oh, I've never had anyone walk out before, but...
Well, we are. Toss up, pal.
So
Good night, everybody.
Oh, well, I guess I better join them.
well, you can stay and just...
Well, I'd love to, but I don't do impressions.
Yeah.
I can't get this off. Well, I'll get it off next year. I'll see you later, Clive.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's Joe of the Bee Gees. Okay. That looks about all it for tonight. I hope they've got the potter's wheel ready.
But a slightly sad thing with Robin was that when he was 50 years old, probably the midlife thing, he had an affair with his housekeeper. She was called Claire Young, and after 8 years they also had a child. That was his fourth one. Quite a long name. It was Snow, Evelyn, Robin, Juliet, Gibb. I think that was it. Snow, Evelyn, Robin, Juliet, Gibb. Yeah. But I always think it's sad when, you know, but the marriage didn't stop. I mean, there must have been love in his marriage, his second marriage, because she was there at the end of his life. Once again, Paul Gambaccini came forth with another statement about Robin. He said he had one of the most beautiful soul voices that had ever existed. So he wasn't just a prolific and good songwriter. He had wonderful vocals. We all tend to think of Barry, don't we? You know, with the falsetto, but they were close harmonies. They were a great group. Very, you know, like the Everleys were close harmonies. The Bee Gees were, and of course Saturday Night Fever. Who cannot know of Saturday Night Fever? I mean, that took them to stratospheric fame, didn't it? God, I wish I had their bank balance. Sadly, Robin died at just the age of 62. He'd been feeling back pains, and yeah, it was cancer, and it caused him his kidneys and his liver to fail. So, yeah, shame. All that money can't save you, can it, really? Not when it comes down to it. Now I'm heading down towards the church because definitely Robin's grave will be down here, and it's very close to the grave wall. Beautiful. Look, I'm going to spin for you once again. Very picturesque, nice place, and of course his grave is in view of everything in the village. Maurice Gibb performed with his older brothers Barry and twin brother Maurice as the Bee Gees, scoring some hits in Australia before moving to England in 1967. By the late 1970s, the Bee Gees became one of the top acts in the world, riding the disco craze. Gibb has pursued a solo career over the years but never gained the same level of success as the Bee Gees. The force behind some of pop's legendary hits, Robin Gibb arrived in this world just 30 minutes ahead of his brother Maurice. The pair, along with their older brother Barry, would later become the dynamic trio known as the Bee Gees. Music was a large part of their family life. Their father, a band leader, encouraged the boys' interest in performing from an early age. In 1958, Gibb and his family emigrated to Australia, settling in Brisbane. There, he and his brother found some success hosting a weekly television show. They released their first single in 1963, which reflected their trademark three-part harmony sound. In moving to England in 1967, Gibbs' career started to take off. The Bee Gees scored several hits, including the psychedelic rock-flavoured New York mining disaster 1941, In 1969, Gibb went solo briefly, releasing Robin's Rain that year. Saved by the Bell proved to be his first hit on his own. Gibb later reunited with his brothers and scored another hit with the 1971 How Can You Mend a Broken Heart. Gibb married Molly Hullis in 1968 and they had 2 children together, Spencer and Melissa. After drifting apart and separating for several years, the couple finally divorced in 1980. Gibb then married author and artist Dwyn Murphy Gibb, who gave birth to his third son, Robin John or RJ, in 1983. In 2010, Gibb began to struggle with severe abdominal pain, similarly to what Maurice had experienced before his death in 2003. In August 2010, Gibb underwent emergency service for a blocked intestine. The following year, he was hospitalised 3 times. He was later diagnosed with cancer. Despite his determination, Gibb was not able to overcome his illness. He died in London on May the 20th, 2012 at the age of 62 after a long battle with cancer. The funny thing was that I've walked around the church, which I enjoyed, but I've come back in a circle because I knew it was somewhere around the church. And it's always the case, it's actually Maurice, where I started off from. And look, it's there. You can't miss it because it's so prominent is the name. And it's where the house is over there, look. That's the entrance to Robin's house. But I won't film too much there. It's the blue plaque on the wall. I'll get a picture of it and put it on the video for you. Oh, look at that. I suspected, even though it's 2012 when Robin died, it's still well kept. I thought it would be. Hello, Robin. What a superb musician you were and songwriter. I always envy musicians and songwriters. So for once, there's not a great deal to read, is there really? Because it's quite a plain but very pretty stone. Robin Gibb CBE, singer-songwriter, 1949 to 2012. Got some nice flowers. Oh, that's nice. Nice picture of him. Yeah, there's such a wide appeal. There'll be people visiting all the time, won't there? And it says on the side, our songbird. Let's have a little look. Oh, it's pretty on the back as well. Oh, of course. How deep is your love? There, can you see? Bee Gees. There's quite a lot of wording around the little swirls, but I won't read all that. It will be For whom the bell tolls, emotion. We got to get a message to you. Oh, I see. Saved by the Bell, you win. You should be dancing. Started a joke. I close my eyes. I know the world's forever. And the broken hearts. Women in love. To love somebody, love is inside. So, how can you? You're broken it. All the love in the world. I still love you. Yeah, okay. Very good. And then on this side we've got Oh, has flown, of course. So it says there, if you look, our songbird has flown. There we are. So it's right next to the church there, look. Yeah, very nice. In view of his home. Yeah, couldn't be better, could it? Thank you, Barry. There were 3 brothers that worked extremely hard. Like Barry once said, so many records you never heard of, but the ones we do know, fantastic. They were talented, there's no doubt. But somebody once said, it's amazing how lucky I got when I worked hard, but yeah, definitely they did. And you know, there's one thing when what you should do. They say, do not compare yourself with other people. Compare yourself with who you were yesterday. Never mind what other people think about you, because that is not you. And remember that if somebody's trying to have a go at you or bring you down, accept it. The life is to be enjoyed, and every one of us has a unique talent and a unique character. We're all as important. That's what I think. Nobody is above anyone else. Just some people are more lucky. They've got more going for them. You know, they're healthier or whatever else. But we all should be loved. And there's two types of people: the ones that are good for you and the ones that are bad. If the ones that are in your life, they're not doing any good, definitely. That's what I do. So all of us out there, have a lovely day on the channel. Give me a thumbs up, and you know I love the comments. Love those comments, don't I? I do. I love to see you all. I love people. I like to get to know everyone. And subscribe to the channel if you like it. I'll see you all very soon. From me, Alan, at Motorhome Beep Beep. Bye.